What's good, people? What is up? What is they went from the fourth level of hell and sent us down to the seventh level of hell. Why? Because then you got Kwanzaa pulling out her titties. The whore pulled out her titties. And these whore bags over here started feeling and fondling on her tits. What?
I don't have it to do with you. Girl, you can go over there, rant and rave. Girl, you can shake all your rainbow bright hair all you want, dear one. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I don't have nothing to do with you, and I'm done. Baby, you can scream my name from the rooftops from now till Jesus come back. I'm done after this.
Introduced to Tick's Meat. Do you see what I see? Did y'all really let, hello, casting, wardrobe, y'all let him roll up out of wardrobe with these pants on, giving us all of this, thinking we were not going to see it? We have been waiting with bated breath and anticipating all season long for the slightest glimpse, and y'all just put it out there this episode in all of its magnificent glory.
Listen, that young man said, baby, you ate on this first date, you giving up the cooch on the first date, okay?
What up? What's good, people? What is up? What is they went from the fourth level of hell and sent us down to the seventh level of hell. Why? Because then you got Kwanzaa pulling out her titties. The whore pulled out her titties. And these whore bags over here started feeling and fondling on her tits. What?
I don't have it to do with you. Girl, you can go over there, rant and rave. Girl, you can shake all your rainbow bright hair all you want, dear one. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I don't have nothing to do with you, and I'm done. Baby, you can scream my name from the rooftops from now till Jesus come back. I'm done after this.
Introduced to Tick's Meat. Do you see what I see? Did y'all really let, hello, casting, wardrobe, y'all let him roll up out of wardrobe with these pants on, giving us all of this, thinking we were not going to see it? We have been waiting with bated breath and anticipating all season long for the slightest glimpse, and y'all just put it out there this episode in all of its magnificent glory.
Listen, that young man said, baby, you ate on this first date, you giving up the cooch on the first date, okay? Or you gonna run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? That's our new theme song. That is the new song. Listen, somebody need to put a beat to that. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's what y'all got going on.
Called out Sandcastle. Sand, bitch. Ow. Oh my God, it was so funny, girl. Woo, baby, listen, let me tell you something. This shit started to turn. I'm here. I'm here. I am here. I had to try to get myself together. That last live went kind of long on teacher project, so I had to try to gather my life a little bit, at least a little bit. We tried to gather our life a little bit. Yeah. How y'all doing today? Cha. Yeah. It's a late start today. It's 6 o'clock. Lord. Jesus. Let me put it in the members only chat. I'm just gonna put it in the members only chat. And then once I put it in the members only chat, I'm good. I ain't gonna do nothing else. Just put it in the members only chat. So the members can know. Shout out to the members. Hold on. Sure. All right. So much to talk about today, y'all. It's just so much going on. It is so much going on. I hope and trust that you are having a phenomenal Wednesday, a wet Wednesday, as we like to say around here. You know, I just hope that you are having just a wonderfully wet Wednesday. I'm just saying. I truly hope that that's the case. Anyway, um, hold on one second. I'm adding one more thing because we're gonna like that. I think you're gonna like that. Anyway, um, let me say hey to y'all, and then we're gonna go ahead and get this party started. Cause we already got a late start today, and we don't have that type of time to be wasting. We don't have the type of time to be wasting with all of that. So we're gonna get this party started, and then we're gonna get on up out. Okay. Hey Tracy W, how you doing today? Hmm. Y'all gotta help me get my energy up. You know what I'm saying? Share the video, press the like button, share the video out. Go let the people know that we finally live. We here. We didn't go black today. We didn't choose not to go live. We are here. Okay. So let the people know that I am live. Share the video out. All of that good stuff. So that um they'll come on round. Anyway, Universal Goddess, how you doing, beautiful? You all right today, sweetheart? Good to see you. Tacos and tequila, I'm glad to have you here, my love. Mm. Hey, L Love, my love, how are you? Jason, what's good, bruh? What is up? Hey, Janae. Yeah, we just left Teacher Project. Hey, Savon, what's going on? Terrence, what's good, bruh? What is going on? What is up? Hey, Ravine. Hey, So Jeff. What's good? What is going on, young man? Sock pie say to you too. Uh Fifi. Hey, Fifi. Looking ravishing as ever. How you doing today, sweetheart? Sharice, you good over there on West Coast? The left coast? Quake, I'm glad to have you here, my love. You just wanted to give your light? Okay, we'll be here. Hey, Tamara. How you doing? Green girl, I see you. Mm-hmm. I'm not late, Paul. I'll have you know. Hey, Paul. I am not late. We were doing Teacher Project 2.0, okay? Hey, Tanya Boo. Call me late. I ain't late. Hey, Uncle Jay. Hey, Ronald. I'm glad you changed that avatar back up, Uncle Jay, because the people was gonna get you, honey. Hey, Brittany Janae, what's going on? Lovely 31 Blueprint. How you doing today, sweetheart? Candace F. You all right over there, sweetie? Montrez, what's good, bruh? Tarshell, so glad to have you. Sharice, I'm just getting off work, about to listen. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know what highway you taking, the 405, the 818, or whatever. I mean, whatever those highways are. I know the 405 is one of them. Isn't it the 8182? Is the highway over there? But I know the 405 is the highway over there in Los Angeles area. I thought it was one with the 818 or 808. No, 808 is the speakers. Boom like an 808. Boom, baby. Boom, baby. Circles like a figure eight. That album by Black was really slept on. I used to play that album like it was the last album that was going to ever come out. And that album is really slept on. Hey, V Carter. Y'all, I'm almost at the end of the month, okay? I am almost at the end of the month. Do y'all hear me? So that means I'm almost done with all my Black History moments. Not that I have a problem giving you Black History moments, but the research that it takes to go and find these Black History moments is taxing sometimes. Okay. Hey, Antonia. Sometimes doing all of this research, child. Hey, it's always sunny. So, y'all don't be understanding the research. I have to be over here doing research. Lord. Oh, you taking the streets home? Okay. All right, honey. Well, today let's gather your pens and your paper and ink pens and pencils and papers and notebooks. Let's do some learning. So today, for our moment in Black women's history, excuse me, we learned the story of Georgia Ann Hill Robinson. Georgia Ann Hill Robinson became the first Black female police officer to work in for the Los Angeles, California Police Department, and possibly the first in the country, and possibly the first Black female police officer in the country in 1916. Months before, 15% of the police force of the U.S. would begin enlisting to enter combat in the First World War. Robinson began her groundbreaking 12-year career with the LAPD. Her work for the LAPD would lead her to civic work, and she would devote her life to serving the residents of Los Angeles by fighting against segregation and for women's welfare. Robinson was born Georgia Ann Hill in Opelousas, Louisiana, on May 12th, 1879. She never knew her parents, was raised by her older sister, and later grew up in a Roman Catholic convent. When she was 18, she moved to she moved to Kansas to work as a governess. There she met and married Morgan Robinson. The couple moved first to Leadville, Colorado, and then to Los Angeles, with their daughter Marion. In Los Angeles, Robinson's desire to serve led her to get involved with various community organizations, and it was through her work with these groups that she was approached and convinced by an LAPD recruiter to join the force. On July 25th, 1916, at the age of 37, Georgia Ann Hill Robinson became a volunteer for the LAPD. 3 years later, on June 10th, 1919, she became the city's first Black policewoman when she was hired as a jail matron. Later, she became involved in juvenile and homicide cases investigated by the department. In her position as an investigator, she discovered that the need for a women's shelter in Los Angeles. Consequently, she would help to establish the Sojourner Truth Home for destitute women and girls. Robinson's time with the LAPD would come to an abrupt end when, at the age of 49, she tried to break up an altercation between two drunken women in her jail. In the resulting fight, Robinson suffered a devastating head injury that left her permanently blind. Robinson retired living on disability. When in 1954 Ebony magazine asked about her injury and her police career, Robinson said, quote, "I have no regrets. I didn't need my eyes any longer. I had seen all there was to see." End of quote. Far from retreating into a quiet retirement, Robinson continued to serve her community. She worked with community leaders, including Dr. Claude Hudson, longtime president of the Los Angeles branch of the NAACP, in the effort to desegregate Los Angeles schools and beaches, and continued to work with women in the shelter she'd helped to found. Georgia Ann Hill Robinson died on September 21st, 1961, in Los Angeles, California, after having recently reached her 82nd birthday. Now, um, her and another Black woman in Chicago both became volunteer police officers in 1916. And so it just depends on, there's some discrepancies about the stories. Most of the sources that I saw listed Georgia Ann Hill Robinson as the first Black female police officer. However, there's another woman, I can't, her name escapes me right now. I saw her in a couple of them as well, but not as many as I saw Georgia Ann Hill Robinson. But the other Black woman, she was out of Chicago, and she became a volunteer officer for the Chicago PD. Now, the difference is the Black woman in Chicago became a full-fledged officer, I think a year or so before Hill became a full-fledged officer, but they both started off as volunteer officers for the police department in 1916. So she is, and in most accounts, credited as the first Black female police officer in the country. And that is the story of Georgia Ann Hill Robinson. That is our Black Women's History moment. I hope that you all appreciate these moments. The 31st is on Monday. I don't know who I'm gonna do on the last day, but I'm gonna find somebody significant to do. Hey Opal. Hey Demetria. Mm. Hey DPG. Hey Catherine Powell. So Georgia Ann Hill Robinson, our moment in Black women's history. We done did a lot of Black women this, but we done did a lot of Black women. Shout out to all of my beautiful Black queens. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, non-binary gender conforming members of our audience, I bring to you the late great Larry Myers to help us usher in our Sugar Spike segment.
Oh God. You see, this is the part that I like.
Major sugar spike.
So loved the world, I want to fight. That he gave his only begotten son.
Major sugar spike.
And who shall ever believe?
Major sugar spike.
They shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Taste the biscuit.
Jesus. So, Signalgate is in full swing, okay? Oh Lord. I hope you sent your emails off, Demetria. I hope you sent the emails like I told you. So Signalgate is in full swing, okay? Full swing. They are not playing with y'all. Do you hear me? They are not playing with y'all. Now, earlier today, Mr. Goldberg, excuse me, Mr. Goldberg released more, and that's Jeff Goldberg, released more of the text messages from Signal that all of the head leaders of the executive branch were communicating on. He was like, oh, y'all think I'm lying? Y'all gonna go before the Senate Intelligence Committee, right? And tell the Senate Intelligence Committee that there wasn't any classified information, right? So since it wasn't no classified information, then let me go ahead and put this shit out there. Put that shit. Oh, it wasn't classified? Oh, no, nothing. All right. Well, let me go ahead and let it out. And that's what he did. He did. Because he was like, oh, it wasn't classified. Well, then, all right. Well, let me put it. And a cavalcade of classified information came out. I mean, the exact exact time of strikes, where these strikes would land, when they would land, what type of fighter jets were used, whether or not it was a drone, what types of missiles. All of this classified information was released today. And normally this should have been in the news cycle since Monday. Normally, with this administration, even when they do things the wrong way, it becomes news for that day. In 24 to 48 hours, they don't went on to something else. Not with this one. It's growing legs. You want to know why? Because the Republicans who claim to be who had all of that smoke for Hillary Clinton, what's the guy, James Comey, and all of these people that they said were doing bad things or letting classified information out and all of this stuff, they're silent. They can't let this die, because when they said no classified information came out and that man put out this morning all of that stuff, they looked and said, oh shit. Now, like I told you last night on Red, Blue, and Black, we got people that were on that text chain were literally in Russia, where we know if you go into Russian airspace, if you go into the country of Russia, they're monitoring your phones. Any and everything and any and every app. I'm telling you right now. So all of that classified, and like I said, this is just the classified information on Signal that we know about or that Jeff Goldberg was privy to. Who's to say they didn't have other chats in Signal with some of these same people that Jeff Goldberg wasn't accidentally added to, when they were giving out all types of classified information? I mean, they're just taking their cue from their God King, Donald John, who had classified information just sprawled all out on Mar-a-Lago, showing it to anybody that would come into the building. You come in, you ring the doorbell. Hey, how you doing? Oh, come on in. Let me just show you all of this classified top secret information. I'm just saying. Listen. The details in this information are quite alarming. Quite alarming. Now, Republicans have now had to come out against this, right? So Republican senators are now calling for an investigation into this Signal leak. Now, according to thehill.com, top Republican senators are calling for various committees to investigate the leak, including the Senate Armed Services Committee and the Senate Intelligence Committee. The Mississippi Senator Roger Wicker, who chairs the Armed Services Committee, told The Hill he would be asking the Defense Department's Inspector General to investigate the scandal. Now, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, who reportedly added Jeff Goldberg to the group. Now, yet last night, he took full responsibility for the leak. He did that on Fox News. He didn't quite explain how the leak happened, but he went he called himself going off on Jeff Goldberg, saying that calling him, quote, the bottom scum of journalists, end of quote. But Republicans, they are now embarrassed. They are now upset about it. And like I said, all of these people, y'all confirmed, right? Bipartisan confirmations, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, there was bipartisan confirmation on Pete Hegseth. Wait, let me just check. I if I remember, there was bipartisan I know there was bipartisan support for Marco Rubio, who was in that chat, but I can't remember for Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth might have went party line. I think Pete Hegseth was party lines. Um, yeah, I think it was down party lines for Pete Hegseth, but Marco Rubio was in there, and some of these other people that had bipartisan confirmations. I don't care. I do not care, Democrats. I'm not gonna keep my foot off y'all neck. You raggedy bitches. I'm not gonna keep my foot off y'all neck. Child. Girl. So you have Republicans now calling for committee investigations and so forth into this. Oh, trouble in paradise. Oh, we have issues with national security. Y'all put that heifer Tulsi Gabbard in there, and that bitch basically is Vladimir Putin's concubine. Cha- Let me say, hey, I think some people came in. Hold on, hold your line. Now, Democrats are calling for DefSec to be Defense Secretary Hegseth to resign. Yes, the likelihood of that happening are slim and none. I don't see that happening. Let me see who came in. Harold. Hey, Harold. 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 Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Hey, Xavier. I passed my guess you passed their mid-terminal. Well, congratulations, Xavier. I see you got all your CPT codes down and stuff. Hey, Chef Dawn. What's going on, sweetheart? What's going on, beautiful? How are you doing today, sir? Yeah. Um, exactly, Cymera. Hey, Cymera, all of them should resign. All of them hoes should resign. Hey, China White. This is here's the deal. All of our intelligence experts have basically confirmed that they know China and Russia were privy to these text messages. They know that. They have, without a shadow of a doubt, uh, um, information of knowing that. Why? Because we know a member on that text chain was in Russia. There was another member of that text chain that was in China. And what we know about the intelligence ability of China and Russia are the fact that if you bring a cell phone into their airspace or into their country, they will have access to it. And like I told you all earlier, we don't know what group chats Jeff Goldberg was not privy to that also contained classified information that may be a threat to national security. Maybe fired. Listen, you might be jailed. If this had been someone else that or a group of other people that were this reckless, they would be in jail. They would be in jail right now. They would absolutely be in jail. Terrence says there's details about his deployment he can't even talk to his wife about. Child. Hey, Sims overdose with your cute self. That was for Sims overdose. Mmm. Child. Child. A mess. A damn mess. A damn mess. I'm liking the listen. I'm liking the fact that this shit has grown legs. I love the fact Dems stay out of this because the more y'all call for Pete Hegseth, to resign, the more he's not going to resign. Let the Republicans handle it. They wanted it, they got it. This shit is all over the social media. Y'all getting in the way, talking about he should resign. If the more y'all say he should resign, the more they're going to do everything to keep him there. Okay, just stay out of it, Dems. Stay the fuck out of it. Y'all asses can't get shit right anyway right now. Y'all can't get a fuck thing right. Sit y'all ass the fuck down and grow some balls and ask the right questions in the goddamn hearings. Anyway, moving on. In more news involving Signalgate. Well, isn't this ironic? Shout out to Atlanta Morissette. Well, isn't it ironic? Don't you think? A little too ironic. Yeah, I really do think it's like rain on your wedding day. It's a free ride, and you've already paid. It's good advice that you just didn't take. And who would have thought it figures? Isn't it ironic? Well, what's ironic, El Teddy? I'm glad you asked. So, this guy right here, that would be Judge James Boasberg. Now, Judge James Boasberg is the same guy who was assigned to the Venezuelan deportation case and got mad and told them to bring those people back off that plane to El Salvador, and they didn't bring the people back, and now he's going in on the Trump administration about the fact that they willfully disobeyed his orders. Well, here's the irony. This same judge, U.S. District Court Judge James Boasberg, has been assigned to the lawsuit that alleged top Trump officials violated their obligations under the Federal Records Act regarding the signal messages on the recent attack on the Houthi rebels in Yemen. The lawsuit was filed today in Washington, D.C. District in a Washington, D.C. District Court. It was filed by government watchdog group American Oversight. And the lawsuit argues that the administration officials violated the law through the, quote, unuseful destruction of federal records, end of quote, after the signal chats were set to disappear after a certain number of weeks. The FRA, or Federal Records Act, was amended in 2021 and determined that electronic messages from agency heads are determined to be records that must be kept. So we already have a lawsuit for Signalgate, and we have Judge James Boasberg that has been assigned to this case. Well, isn't that some irony? I love it. I'm here for all of it. Here for all of it. Hey, Symmetry, what's going on? Not whiskey leaks. You know what? I do like the ring of that because Pete Hegseth loves him some whiskey. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's a good question, Xavier. I don't have an answer to that question. I don't have an answer to that question, but that's a very good question. So yeah, the irony just continues. So now the same judge that y'all pissed off with that when y'all were deporting those immigrants, now he's the judge on the case for whiskey leaks or signal gate, whatever you want to call it. Throw the book at their asses. Throw the book at their asses. I'm just saying. Here we are. I can't think of a better judge to have adjudicating this than that. Maybe Judge Chutkin, um, who was over Trump's case before he got dismissed before November 11th. I mean November 5th. Anyway, in more news, so doxing doesn't just happen on the tube of YouTube. Um, Donald John made it a point to dox New York Attorney General Letitia James. And this is the second time he shared her personal information online. According to news outlets, he shared a blog last week titled, quote, AG Letitia James's building permits raise serious questions, end of quote, which broached questions about the number of units at a property she owns and alleged administrative misconduct over her permit filings for the dwelling. The article included documents showing her previous filings for the property, which included her current home address. Now you should also know he also shared her home address in October of 2023 when he shared an article by far right activist Laura Loomer, who we've highlighted on here for her fuck shit and fuckery, that also contained Letitia James's address. Now here's the danger in all of this. The danger in all of this is the fact that this is dog whistles to those rabid ass dogs that you call members of MAGA Nation, the MAGA nuts. These people are not wrapped tightly. They will show up at this woman's home and try to do her some harm. I'm just telling you what I know. Hey, Jay Parrish. I'm just saying. The fact that your president is doxing this woman, and he's going to do and commit any crime he wants. Why? Because your SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States of America, in his brain gave him immunity on anything he does while he's president. Even if he commits crimes in his mind, the Supreme Court gave him immunity against any crime that he should commit while he's president. So he's going to do all of the things that he should not do, illegal or legal. He doesn't give a damn. And the fact that you just put this woman's health, safety, and well-being in jeopardy is a crime. You doxed this woman. You doxed her. Put her home address out there and just left it for your little sick, sad, rabid ass dogs to go and try and find this woman and do something. Now, I got a news flash for you. I feel like Letitia James is not here to be fucked around with. I feel like if y'all roll up on Letitia James, she will fuck you up. I just feel that way. I feel like if you go over there and say, oh yeah, let me go ahead and roll up over here on Letitia James, I think she'll fuck you up. I think she'll fuck you up. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. Now, Demetria says she could get the Switch Boys of Birmingham to be your security if you need Letitia. Just let her know. I'm sure some people in New York that don't mind being her security too. But if she look like she can handle her own, and she'll fuck a bitch up. Mama look like she'll fuck you up. Mm-hmm. She look like she'll fuck you up. Fuck around and find out with Letitia James. In more news, now all of you all down to the Rainbow Coalition compound, I done left y'all alone for a little bit. Those of us down to the Rainbow Coalition compound, well, the all-on assault against our community has not let up. It's still here. So, in our latest news, a surge of grant cancellations hit researchers focused on the health of gay, lesbian, and transgender people earlier last week, as the Trump administration has continued to target what it describes as ideologically driven science. Last week, the U.S. terminated at least 68 grants to 46 institutions, totaling nearly $40 million, and that's according to a government website. Some of the grant money has already been spent, but at least 1.36 million in future support was yanked as a result of the cuts, a significant undercount because estimates were available for less than a third of the grants. Most were in some way related to sexual minorities, including research focused on HIV prevention. Other canceled studies centered on cancer, youth suicide, and bone health. Health and Human Services spokesperson Andrew Nixon said the agency is quote dedicated to restoring our agencies to their tradition of upholding gold standard evidence-based science, end of quote. The grants were awarded by the National Institutes of Health, an agency under HHS. One canceled project at Vanderbilt University had been following the overall health of more than 1,200 LGBTQ people age 50 or and older. Most of the money has been spent from the grant funding project, but it is up for renewal in April. One of the leads in this study, named Tara McKay, she said the grant won't be renewed because of the termination, which jeopardizes any long-term results. Still, the Vanderbilt project had already generated 24 published papers, including work used to train doctors to provide better care for LGBTQ plus people, increasing the likelihood of cancer screenings and other preventative care. Now, I read something earlier. I think it was either late last week or earlier this week. I don't remember, but I did read an article um, that said that HIV is now not considered a terminal virus anymore. I forgot what day I read that, and I meant to present it at the on Silly Saturday um this past Monday, but there was guidance from the several medical facility medical organizations and institutions, and they all got together and they stated that while it is incurable, it is no longer considered a terminal illness in most cases, which is great for those for members of our community who are dealing with that disease. So that was good to hear. All right. Hey, and there's our Lazy Boy Snacks. There's Lazy Boy Snacks. Shout out to Lazy Boy Snacks. Y'all go on over there and show them some love. Demetria says she already got her some love from Lazy Boy Snacks, and she had a good time with it. I'm just saying, she's having a good time with it. In more news, the Trump administration had, via your president, has signed an executive order last night concerning national elections in the United States. The executive order includes several key provisions. One, government issued proof of citizenship for voters who register to vote in national elections. Currently, not all states require proof of citizenship for voter registration, except forms of identification Accepted forms of identification include a passport, a real ID, military ID, or a state or federally issued form of ID showing proof of citizenship. Two, states must count ballots received on election day, barring states from counting mail in ballots received after election day. Three, the attorney general must prioritize laws restricting non citizens from registering to vote or voting, and work with state attorneys general to prosecute those who violate these laws. 4. The Department of Homeland Security and Department of Government Efficiency will review each state's public voter registration list and compare it alongside federal immigration databases. Now, this is all smoke and mirrors. You want to know why? Because the federal government has no say in how states hold their elections. You do realize you people gutted and basically got rid of the Voting Rights Act, right? Y'all remember y'all did that, right? Supreme Court did that. And you do also realize that every state conducts its election in a manner to which they deem necessary. You do realize that, right? So you telling people, states, that they're not allowed to count elections after election day, or the method or the IDs that they have to use, or the fact that they even have to show ID. Yes, sir. That's not going to hold up in court. Now, what he's threatening is that these states will lose federal funding, which also will be illegal. It's more posturing. It's more smoke and mirrors. It's them trying to deflect and get y'all off of Whiskey Leaks or Signalgate. Let's travel over to the great state of Pennsylvania, to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Look at Demetria. I tried to tell y'all the lazy boy snacks be hitting. Demetria, did you get the juice? The juice is the best thing. I love the juice. The juice is, and we got gummy bears too now, and I like the gummy bears too. Let's travel over to West Virginia, where we have some good news coming out of West Virginia. So, Democrat James Malone has won an open Pennsylvania state Senate seat in a major upset in a district that comfortably voted for Donald John in November. Matter of fact, he won that district by 15 points. Now, James Malone, who's the mayor of East Petersburg, Pennsylvania, narrowly defeated Republican Lancaster County Commissioner Josh Parsons to represent Senate District 36 for the remainder of the former state senator Ryan Alment's term. Alment resigned from his office in December to become the state director for Senator Dave McCormick. This is seen as a win. Malone, the current lead is by about 500 votes, and that's as of this morning. It was a narrow lead, but the fact that Trump won that district by 15 points, and you can actually have someone on the Democratic side actually outright win that seat, bodes well for upcoming elections in the Democrats, the way that Democratic strategists are looking at this. The thing about it is, we remember Pennsylvania went red. However, here's the deal, Democrats. I keep telling you, you have to give people a reason to vote. Your opponent is not not a Republican. Your opponent, Democrats, is the couch, the television, and social media. That's your opponent, because people are apathetic and some are apoplectic right now and will not come out and vote for you unless you give them a reason to vote. But that's some good news here. Shout out to the Commonwealth of Virginia. Not Commonwealth of Virginia, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Yeah, the juice is good. All right. In more news, let's travel over to the great state of Florida. So, there's a special election coming up in the great state of Florida for 2 House seats. Your de facto president, Elon Musk, is now via his super PACs donating a lot of money to these races. Now, let's be clear. These races are in traditional red areas up in the panhandle. One is to replace Matt Gates seat out of District 1, which is way over there in the Pensacola area. And the other one is to replace Mike Waltz, who's been in the news with this whole whiskey leaks situation. And his district is District 6, both up in the Panhandle area, staunch red areas. Now, when is this special election? Hold on. I want to get the date for y'all. Okay, so Florida's special election is on April 1st. It's going to be next Tuesday. So it will be on April 1st as well. Now, and I misspoke. Matt Gates's area is in the Panhandle area, okay? But Mike Walt's area is an area that's still very red, but it goes from just east of Ocala, goes all the way toward Palm Coast area, Ormond Beach, Daytona Beach. So that at Deltona, all of that area over there, which is a very red area. So they must think something's going to happen. They must know that there must be some issues with regard to the possibility of these areas flipping, and therefore Elon Musk and his super PACs are pouring money into these districts to try to secure this election. Now, the election is on on Tuesday. I have gotten wind via my contacts that what's happening is they're not allowing everybody to early vote. There have been some issues with early voting. There have been some issues with people that had signed up for vote by mail in November, being told that they couldn't vote by mail for this special election. If you're in those two counties, Flagler County is one. The other county is I know it's District 1 and District 6. So my point being, make sure you call your election supervisors in those respective areas, because there have been some shenanigans with people early voting, and you don't want any shenanigans on the date of election next Tuesday. So make sure you call your election supervisor if you're trying to early vote, and also call your election supervisor to make sure you were not purged, because Florida has a bad reputation of purging votes, voter registrations without you knowing. So please go and check that. In other news, well, you should know that your president seems to believe that y'all black asses don't need reparations, but the people from January 6th do. Here's the video.
No, but I took care of them. I said I was going to, and I did.
Is there any talk of, because they lost opportunity, they lost income, any kind of compensation fund?
Well, there's talk about that. We have a lot of people talk about it. A lot of the people that are in government now talk about it, because a lot of the people in government really like that group of people. They were patriots as far as I was concerned. I talk about them a lot. They were treated very unfairly. You know, the thing they show is they show a group of 1,000, whatever it may have been, 1,500 people down. What they don't show, you never see the crowd that day. It was the biggest crowd I've ever spoken before. It went all the way to the Washington Monument. It was so wide. You virtually couldn't see anything else but people. They never show that. Whether it was 1 million people or less than 1 million, I don't know what it was, but I see Bernie Sanders has a few people out there. They say, "Oh, the crowd is so big." They don't talk about the crowds, but a group of people went down there peacefully and patriotically. Remember that,
This young man is actively talking about reparations for terrorists who tried to overthrow our government, giving them reparations. Not enough that you pardon these assholes. Not enough that they don't suffer any of the legal consequences anymore for trying to overthrow the government. Now, as a slap in the face to us black people, you have him actively talking about reparations to these people. I just can't with y'all. I don't have the energy. I can't do this. I cannot. I'm going to move on because the way I'm spiking out inside and doing everything in my power to keep this sugar spike, I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. Let me move on before I spike out. In more news from my great state of Florida. Now, Governor Quasimodo, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, was one of the first ones to do this, and Governor death sentence is now following suit. So if you all recall, when Governor Quasimodo first became governor of the great state of Arkansas, she eliminated child labor laws. Well, you should know Florida's Senate Committee on Commerce and Tourism have approved a bill that would relax child labor laws in the state. Last year, the Florida legislature passed a different bill that amended the child labor laws, and now the Senate is looking to take it further. The bill, SB 918, removes certain restrictions for 16 and 17-year-olds, allowing them to work 8 hours a day before 6:30 a.m. or after 11 p.m., even on school days. The bill also removes mandated breaks for 16 and 17-year-olds who work for continuous hours. Additionally, the bill removes the restriction on 14 and 15-year-olds who have received a high school equivalency diploma, are homeschooled, or are in public school and receive a certificate of exemption granted by the school superintendent or a parental designee. This is happening. They do not care about you or your children. They do not care about you or your children. This is happening. Moving on, I have an update to a story that we did over here. Now, do y'all remember the story of Tyron McAlpin? Let me remind you, this was out of Arizona. This was the black man who was deaf and had cerebral palsy, and he was, remember we watched the video, he was tackled to the ground and punched, and they used a stun gun on him and all of that kind of stuff. They beat him up and everything. The man was deaf and had cerebral palsy. They were looking for somebody else, and they ended up tackling him to the ground, and he didn't even fit the description of the people from the gas station and stuff like that. It was a whole mess. We reported on it over here. It was out of Jason's area. I told you I would give you some updates. Well, here's the updates. The Phoenix Police Department has disciplined 3 officers who violently used a stun gun on and punched a deaf black man with cerebral palsy last year. The department's interim chief, Michael Sullivan, announced that he had issued 24-hour unpaid suspensions to the officers who were involved in the arrest of Tyron McAlpin last August. Um, 2 of the officers will be required to attend de-escalation training. Sullivan, Police Chief Sullivan did not name the 3 officers, but in the video of McAlpin's arrest, the 2 officers who were seen assaulting him were identified in media reports as Benjamin Harris and Kyle Sue. The 3rd officer has been identified in media reports as Jorge Acosta. In a statement on Tuesday, Police Chief Sullivan said, quote, "We understand the concerns raised by this incident, and we take them seriously. The decision to suspend the officers reflect our commitment to accountability and maintaining public trust." End of quote. Really? Not that they were fired, not that they were having their badges taken from them and were told they were unable to work again in a police uniform in these yet to be United States of America, but you gave them a 24-hour unpaid suspension. That's it? Just one day? A 1-day unpaid suspension? Ooh. I don't care if it's, I don't even care. I don't know if you, when you say 24-hour unpaid suspension, I don't know if that equates to just 1 day or if it's 3 8-hour shifts. I don't give a damn what it is. The fact that these bastards are allowed to keep their job is a travesty of America, is a travesty within our country. The fact that they're allowed to keep their job is way beyond the pale. Now, many of y'all were here when we reported on this story. Some of y'all may want to be refreshed on the video. I always have 1 or 2 people that want to here's a link to the video. Hold on. Where's my link? Here's the link to the video if you need it. For anybody that wants to see the video. Nobody dies. I can confirm nobody dies, but this is the link to the video. All right. Let's move on. In more sugar spiky news, the Trump administration is planning to end funding for Gavi, which is a global health organization that helps provide vaccines and other life-saving care to developing countries. A 281-page spreadsheet obtained by the New York Times lists the Trump administration's plans for thousands of foreign aid programs, including financial cuts to the organization that buys vaccines for children, as well as scaling back on programs that combat malaria in developing countries. Gavi is estimated to have saved the lives of 19 million children since it set up 25 years ago, with the U.S. contributing 13% of its budget. Quote, "The U.S. has historically been one of Gavi's biggest donors, and I hope that longstanding champions on Capitol Hill will urge the administration to reverse course," end of quote. And that's according to Janine Keller, policy fellow and deputy director of the Global Health Policy Program at the Center for Global Development. She added, quote, Gavi is one of the most impactful global initiatives. We know that vaccinating children is one of the most cost-effective ways to improve health and save lives, which is exactly why Gavi has enjoyed bipartisan support. This latest move will turn back years of hard-won progress and stymie Gavi's efforts to stop the spread of infectious disease outbreaks before they reach the U.S. border, end of quote. Now, members of the health community are saying ending programs like this does not bode well for us in this country. We're right in the middle of a measles outbreak, and as we cut funding to programs like this, we don't live in a vacuum. We don't live on an island. Americans travel all over the world. So as these infectious diseases become more rampant, more Americans will get them and bring them over here, and we'll have more outbreaks. Why? Because you have fucktards like your department, your Secretary of Health and Human Services that don't believe in vaccines. So while people may be saying, well, I don't care, that's other countries, we live in a global society. What affects other countries can affect us. But y'all don't care. Moving on. Remember the shooting over in El Paso down to the Walmart back in 2019 where 23 people were killed? Well, the culprit who you see here, Patrick Crucius, he has avoided the death penalty. Just so you know. Now, 23 people died in that mass shooting. 23. Now, he had already been sentenced to 90 consecutive life terms in federal prison after pleading guilty in 2023 to hate crime charges. Now, while federal prosecutors under the Biden administration had already taken the death penalty off the table without explanation, Texas authorities were still pursuing it. However, it was announced that many victims' families expressed a strong desire for closure and did not want the death penalty. Now, here's my thought on it. I'm not a proponent of the death penalty. The man has 90 life sentences. He's never going to get out. Let his ass stay locked up. I'm not a proponent of the death penalty. Let his ass stay locked up, lock away the key, and leave us alone. That's where I'm at on it. In more news, so for those people who were not in red, blue, and black last night, I played this video that has gone viral of our girl Jasmine Crockett.
Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey. So yes. Right. Okay. All right. I'm gonna move on because I got other people this also hot in these streets.
Some of y'all have been here since 2019. Have we not been referring to this man as Governor Hot Wheels since 2019? Some of y'all been here that long. Some of y'all can go all the way back. Have we not referred to this man as Governor Hot Wheels? Imitation is the highest form of flattery. And I'm so glad. Just know when you heard it first, okay? I know there are people in the bushes watching. Exactly, so Jeff. There are people in the bushes watching. Hey, people in the bushes, I don't mind, but y'all could give your boy a shout out, okay? Y'all could say, shout out to L Teddy 27, who be over there doing the Lord's work down to the YouTube where we got that from. I've been calling this man Governor Hot Wheels before most people even knew who Governor Hot Wheels was. Before even people in Texas knew that man was in a wheelchair, I was already calling him Governor Hot Wheels because I knew he was in a wheelchair. I'm just saying. But who am I? In my looking up this story though, I found some interesting pictures down to the Instagram. Here's some of the things that we saw on the Instagram. I found them quite hilarious. I saw this and this and this and this. That one we saw. We saw that one. I saw all of this all over Al Gore's good internet yesterday when I was looking this story up. It gave me life abundant. I'm not going to even go into the fact that Republicans are saying that, it's despicable what Jasmine Crockett is saying about him. No, what's despicable is what is happening to the citizens of the great state of Texas under the reign of tyranny of this fuck bitch that's in that goddamn wheelchair. I keep telling y'all, I need somebody to go to fucking Austin, Texas and line that goddamn wheelchair ramp with some goddamn Crisco oil. Because he ain't shit. And you call him despicable. That man don't give a damn about the disabled community at all. He don't give a damn about them. Don't give two damns. I'm just saying. The fact that children have had their rights stripped from them, have had resources stripped from them at the hands of this young man, he ain't shit. Fuck him and his cripple ass legs. Fuck him and fuck his life. Listen, I'm not gonna mince words with this man. He is an awful, detestable human being. He is the worst of us and the least of the entirety of the human genome. I do not care about him, and I wish nothing but the worst for him. I'm just telling you how I feel because that's how he feel. That's exactly what I'm saying about him is exactly how he feels about my people, my people in the black community. That's exactly how he feels about people in the LGBTQ plus community. Shall I remind you that he pardoned the people who shot Black Lives Matter protesters in Texas? Need I remind you that? Need I remind you that he pardoned the police officer that shot members of the Black Lives Matter movement that were peacefully protesting? Need I remind you, he removed resources like suicide hotlines and therapists from students in school who had questions about uh, um, being LGBTQ plus. Need I remind you, he's eliminated books out of all public libraries in this state that helps students understand who they are as a person. Need I remind you, he has signed off and sanctioned textbooks that say that black people were not slaves, rather that they came over here willingly and that it helped him. This is the young man that y'all want me to feel bad for. Fuck him and fuck his life. I hope the bitch die painfully and slowly. I'm just saying. I don't know why he's in a wheelchair. I don't know. Maybe God said, "Yeah, you need this." Maybe the man upstairs said, "Yeah, let me go ahead and get this to you. Uh, 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 uh yeah, get this to you because you ain't shit, and let me go ahead and punish you now because that bitch ain't shit." Now I heard the story about a oak tree fell on him. He was running or something, and out in the yard or something, and the oak tree fell on him, and that's I don't know. I don't care. I wish nothing but the worst for him. Nothing but the worst for him. Moving on. As we come out of the sugar spike segment and deeper into the dossier, Um, and we travel back over to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Will Smith is in the news. So he's having a street named in his honor, named after him in the neighborhood where he was born and raised. I guess that's West Philadelphia. There's going to be a street called Will Smith Way. Mayor Sherelle Parker, a beautiful black woman, and city leaders honored Will Smith today, renaming a street next to his old high school. Quote, Philly, I love you. I am yours. You are mine. End of quote. And that's what Will Smith said at the ceremony. Now, this is apparently this is a section of 59th Street. I don't know where that's at in Philly, but they say it's a section of 59th Street. Okay. Congratulations. Okay. I'm just saying. I'm okay. Sierra's husband, Russell Wilson, is in the news. So he finally got picked up by an NFL team. He's headed over to New York City to play for the New York Giants. The New York Giants are horrible. They're one of the worst teams in the league. He ain't gonna do shit over there. They're awful. Um, but the deal he has is worth up to $21 million with $10.5 million guaranteed. The Giants also signed Jameis Winston to a 2-year contract last week. They're expected to draft a quarterback in the upcoming NFL draft. You might as well. I mean, well, I ain't gonna tell you to go ahead and retire Russell Wilson. Sierra probably has a lot of needs. She probably demands a lot of money, and you got to make as much money as you can while you can, because Sierra ain't putting out no music like that. She ain't got no career like that. Ain't nobody checking for Sierra and what the fuck she got going on. So you need to make as much money as you can, because she look like she gonna spend it all. Be prepared that a year or two after after you retire from the NFL, she might be finding a reason to divorce you. I'm just telling you what I know. Don't be surprised if there's divorce filings like 2 or 3 years after they get divorced. I mean, after he retires. I don't think they got that many kids. I thought they had like 3 or 4. I don't know. Let me see. I thought they had. How many kids does Sierra have? So Sierra, because she got some kids from Future. She got 4 kids. She got 4 kids. She got 3 from Russell and 1 from Future. Now, one of their kids' name is Win, like WIN. Win, really? Okay. Child. Look at you, look at you. God has put them two together in holy covenant. Baby, that don't mean shit. Hey, kiss my cheeks. What's going on, beautiful? Hey, my love. Baby, listen. I fully expect. Thank you for putting her name correctly, Diamond Pearl Jim. It's C error. That's what we call her over here, because she's a whole ass error. I fully expect that they're going to be divorced a couple years after he retires. You say that section is called the Overbrook? Okay. It's called the Overbrook. Thank you. Because I didn't know what it was called. Oh, she pregnant with twins or something? Baby, I don't pay attention to that woman. I don't pay attention to her. Child. Listen, any woman whose best song ain't even her song, that tells you all you need to know about her. I keep telling y'all, her best song is not her song. It's her best song is So What? Woo! So what? So what? Ooh, so what? I'm just saying. That's her best song, and that ain't even her song. She's just a feature. I'm telling you, Terrence, mark my words. Mark my words. Now, I'm surprised some of you Beehive members got good. In one Sierra, the one saying bad stuff about Beyond Skank, or was that Carrie Hill Skank? It was either Sierra or Carrie Hill Skank. One of them said something bad about Beyond Skank, and y'all lost y'all damn minds. I don't know. They all run together. Insignificant R&B, female R&B artists. I'm just saying. Anyway, moving on. Thomas Dexter is in the news. Dear God. So Thomas Dexter went down to the Today Show. Was it today or yesterday? I think it was yesterday, or was it today? Now he said when y'all saw him on stage, at church, up on the pulpit, and he had that medical scare. He says it was a massive heart attack. He said, quote, I didn't really realize what was happening to me on stage until I got to the hospital in an ambulance. And I am fussing that it happened on stage, by the way, because I didn't want it to happen. And the doctor leaned over in my ear and said, you had a massive heart attack. End of quote. Now we all watched it. I didn't know it was a massive heart attack. You better be glad you still here. Thomas Dexter went on to say, quote, the reason I didn't realize it was because I had none of the symptoms that they say. No numbness, no sharp pain, no anything. I just kind of drifted off to sleep. I didn't know what it was, but I almost died. End of quote. Listen, we don't want to hear about your massive heart attack, Thomas Dexter. What we want to hear about is the allegations of you inappropriately touching Dwayne Youngblood and his brother. Didn't Dwayne Youngblood brother say he touched them too? I don't know Thomas Dexter. The thought of Thomas Dexter being any way, shape, form, or fashion remotely sexual with anyone is nauseating. Like I don't want to even know that he has reproductive organs. It's disgusting to me to think that he has sex with anybody. All we want to know is what about these damn allegations? Right. Also, remember there was the man that worked on your security team that had allegations against you as well. I, Thomas Dexter, just go ahead. Live in your truth. Be who you are. Well, apparently they don't have that much need because they getting it all over the place. Apparently they don't have too many needs because they get it whenever they want it. Listen, if I had to be mortified, Janae, you got to be mortified too. They say Thomas Dexter over here blowing backs out. He's whipping his meat out and shoving it into people's rectums, okay? Shoving it down people's throats. Talking about get ready, get ready, get ready. As he gets ready to blow his load down people's esophagus or down people inside of people's anuses. The man said, get ready, get ready, get ready, because he getting ready to blow his load up your rectum or down your esophagus. That's what he doing. The man said, have you ever been swallowed? Swallowed. He might be a power bottom. Maybe he's doing the one, taking it. I don't know. I don't know what he is. I don't even want to know. I don't care what he got going on, okay? I don't care. Child. Not with the baby oil. The baby oil. Not baby oil. Baby oil. You know, they were claiming he was a power bottle. He might be well, if he's not shoving it up in somebody, maybe he putting footprints on ceilings. I don't know. Maybe he tooting it up, toot that thing up, mommy, make it roll, make it roll. I'm just saying. Look at DPG. DPG, I'm not that bad. Y'all around here giving me these stories with Thomas Dexter. I don't know what y'all want from me. Thomas Dexter, please leave us alone. If you ain't telling us or admitting what you did to all of these people who have all of these allegations on you, we don't care. Just saying. Right, Uncle Jay, toot that thing up, mommy, make it roll, make it roll. Ow. Anyway, some naked lady was down to the Lord. Some God help us. Some naked lady was down to the airport, the DFW airport in Dallas, the Dallas Fort Worth airport. And she was bothering people, terrorizing people. That's according to TMZ. Now they say the incident ended with her being placed on a mental health hold. According to police, they were called to do a welfare check and determined that this woman, her name is Samantha Palmer, she had suffered a manic episode that led her to allegedly stabbing two people, at least two people with a pencil, and biting a restaurant manager trying to subdue her. You out here stabbing people with pencils and biting people and shit, butt ass naked. The fuck? She stabbed the manager, according to the report, she stabbed the manager with his own pencil as he tried to intervene, causing puncture wounds to his head and face. While her teeth broke open skin on his right forearm and caused immediate bleeding. Now, police say she was originally found behind an emergency exit door at gate D1 of Terminal D at DFW with blood on and around her. An eyewitness told police officers she stabbed someone with a pencil, and responding medics later confirmed the blood on her was not her own. All of this happened last week, or I'm sorry, Friday before last. I ain't got nothing. I wasn't there. I was not there. I wonder what she had going on. I don't know what she had going on. Man, put on some damn clothes. Now, they say the victims are recovering. They'll make a full recovery, which we are glad to hear about. But, ma'am, you need to get your life in order. Lock her ass up. Oh, God. Oh, this woman. Oh, God. Why is this woman on my screen? Y'all know I cannot stand her. Well, Sexy Red is facing a new lawsuit that could make her child a new lawsuit from her child's grandmother, who's accusing her of sending fans to attack her at home. According to legal documents obtained by TMZ, Nicole Barnes claims that Sexy Red shared her address while sending out a war cry to her large social media following on December 24th, in December of 2024, instructing them to kick in the door of her home and do her and her family harm. So you doxed this lady and told your little STDs and STIs. That's what we call her fans. The fans of Sexy Red, they're called the STDs, because we know she's riddled and mired with all types of STDs. She is the self-proclaimed queen of raw dog. Remember that? She's the self-proclaimed queen of raw dog, or raw dog queen, I should say. So you doxed your children's grandmother and told your STDs to go in and kick in the door of her house and do her and her family harm. Now the grandmother says she took the threat seriously enough to relocate from her Hazelwood, Missouri home out of safety concerns, but she claims she hasn't been able to find a home that she can afford. Because of the mounting stress, she says she now attends therapy sessions and is fearing for her safety. She's suing for assault and infliction of emotional distress and is seeking more than $5 million in damages from the F My Baby Dad rapper. I hope she get every dime. Mhm. I hope she gets every dime. Exactly, Samira. Just walking herpes. The walking herpes. Walking herpes on our screen. I hope the grandma get every dime. I'm just saying. I hope the grandma get every dime. Moving on. Kendrick Lamar is in the news. So, according to new records, the FCC has received 125 complaints about Kendrick Lamar's halftime show, with some viewers objecting to what they called, quote, provocative language, end of quote, and, quote, racial bias, end of quote, citing the lack of white performers. One complaint out of Ocean City, Maryland said, quote, there wasn't one white person in the whole show. If it was all white, it would be a different story. End of quote. One complaint from Daytona Beach said, quote, I want to know why it is that there was not one white person involved. I felt discriminated against. And why was Uncle Sam black when Uncle Sam is white? End of quote. Another complaint said, from the great state of Illinois, said, quote, my younger kids did not need to see and hear this. Another, end of quote. Another complaint from North Carolina said they were glad they couldn't understand Kendrick Lamar's lyrics, but took the time to look them up anyway and were, quote, appalled. End of quote. You mad? What about all of the years that y'all had white only performers at halftime? You forgot about that? I agree, Terrence. This belongs in the hashtag ABC's a bitch can't. This what y'all got going on. We've had to endure white only performances to this day. Listen, she may not be white, but the fact that I had to endure fucking J-Lo doing a fucking Motown tribute is reason enough why we should be able to do whatever the fuck we want during our performances and leave us the fuck alone. Leave us the fuck alone. Get the fuck away from us. Leave us alone. No, ain't not one white person on there, and we ain't gonna have none. Fuck you and your opinions about it. Y'all could have went and got something to eat. Y'all could have went and did something else with your life. You ain't have to watch. That's what we do. When y'all have y'all all white performances, baby, we go get us a eat. Some people go take them a smoke. Some people go get them a drink. Some people get a quickie in down to the bathroom. When you had somebody's Super Bowl party and you saw somebody cute and you told them to follow you in the bathroom so y'all can have a quickie while you suck them up, they suck you up and you get a quick bust down, all in the 5 minutes that you that the halftime performance happened. Not that I would know anything about having a quick bust down at a Super Bowl party I was invited to. I wouldn't know anything about that. Anyway, fuck y'all feelings. In our last story of the day, dear God, dear God, this young man, y'all's boy Joseph Anthony Button II, we just gonna go with his full name. Damn all of that. Y'all's boy Joseph Anthony Button II is in the news. So remember when he had the situation where he was walking around to people's house naked, ringing the doorbell and knocking on people's door and claimed that he was sleepwalking and all of that stuff? Well, some of the video, the videos did surface of it. They weren't worth watching. Well, we have an update on that story. Apparently, these same neighbors are suing him over the incident, right? Um his neighbors John and Yulia Aksoy filed a lawsuit against him for allegedly trying to enter their home while nude. Now, we knew about that. He had previously been arrested for the incident back in December. We reported on that here, but the police cleared him of the charges. Now, in the current lawsuit, the couple accused him and his podcast co-host Melissa Ford of engaging in a quote campaign of intimidation and retribution, end of quote, against them for filing noise complaints over the recording of the Joe Budden podcast. Um, Listen, I can believe it's loud. I'm glad that I don't have neighbors to my left or right. Like in my condo, it's only two condos on this floor. It's one on one side and one on the other side. And the stairs is in between. So I don't have nobody on the sides of me at all. There's somebody beneath me, but that's not it's nobody above me. I'm on the top floor. It's nobody beneath me, okay? I don't have that to worry about. If somebody mad because El Teddy 27 is loud, get over it. I don't know what to tell you. Because y'all see I be as loud as I want. And I live by myself. I don't have no roommates. I don't have none of that. We don't have none of that. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Yes. Yes. We on top. I don't know who told you I was a bottom. I am very versatile, Demetria. Backs get blown out over here. A couple, sometimes. The people say we got a lot to work with over here. So we get to blow a few backs out over here. Okay. The attorneys for the family is on record explaining the decision to take legal action against Joe Budden, saying, quote, "My clients were forced to act because the situation became intolerable. They believe that everyone, no matter who they are, deserves to feel safe, secure, and comfortable in their own home. This lawsuit is about restoring respect and dignity within a shared community. The facts speak for themselves and will be addressed where they belong, in court." End of quote. Listen, I don't know. I don't care. We don't even like him like that. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm not doing this with you, Xavier. I'm not doing this with you, Xavier. That's the dossier for the day, y'all. We done for the day. We made it through everything. We are done. I am tired. I'm not used to being live this late. I'm used to my live being over at least by 6:45, 7 o'clock. It's after 7:30. I ain't even ate. Baby, listen, I'm about to go get something to eat. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll also be here on Friday. Now, what is that about? I'll also be here on Friday. Okay. Now I won't be here for Silly Saturday because I'll be out of town, but I will be here on Friday. All right. If you want to donate to the platform, I keep telling y'all got to support independent media. Support independent media because we are out here doing the Lord's work. We are out here doing the Lord's work, giving you news that you can use and doing things that mainstream media is just not doing. But I'm about to get out of here. As I always say, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They are much obliged and much appreciated. We about to get up out of here, get us something to eat, and rest for the rest of the evening. That's all I got for y'all. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out. Love y'all.